Today, we are really immersing ourselves in something I know so many of us grapple with: confidence. That quality. It just seems to open doors, right? Like this invisible superpower deciding who speaks up, who takes a chance, who ultimately gets ahead.
It really does seem like that sometimes.
Yeah.
And when we talk about confidence, people usually picture the result, don't they?
Yes.
The person walking tall, the colleague nailing that presentation, or, the language learner just speaking without second-guessing every word. They just seem to shine.
But there's the flip side, and I think everyone listening knows this feeling deep down. That hidden struggle. It can be fierce. Maybe you're about to speak or just trying to get a sentence right in English, and boom, mind goes blank.
Mm-hmm. Heart pounding.
Exactly. Heart pounding. All that prep just vanishes and you're just terrified. That fear of, making a fool of yourself, it can be paralyzing. We've all been there, right? That moment, you just retreat. And that internal battle, that's exactly what we're digging into today. So, our mission for you, if you're listening and you've ever held yourself back, maybe chosen silence because you were afraid of embarrassment, we want to show you that confidence isn't some magic gift you're born with.
Okay.
No, the sources we've synthesized are really clear on this. It's something you build, like literally step by step, day by day. And what's fascinating is the way you build confidence for life stuff, starting a project, whatever, it's the same process for building confidence in something specific, like public speaking or, getting fluent in English.
Okay, so it's a skill, not a trait. I like that.
Yeah.
So let's really unpack the blueprint then. We've gone through a lot of research here trying to get past just be more confident into the how. We'll look at what it actually is, what stops us, the barriers and the mindset shift needed, and finally, the real actions, the daily stuff you can start doing, like right now.
Exactly, giving you the architect.
All right, first things first, we absolutely have to clear up this huge misunderstanding about what confidence even means. I mean, before really digging into this, I always pictured, the super extroverted person, the loudest one, the one who never seems to stumble.
Yeah. And that image is so unhelpful, isn't it? Because if that's your benchmark, well, you're always going to feel like you fall short. But the sources, they really nail it down. Real confidence is not about being the loudest. It's definitely not about never making mistakes. Actually, if you watch confident people closely, they mess up too. The difference is how they react. Okay, so if it's not being flawless, what's the actual working definition we should use?
It really boils down to self-efficacy. That's the core. It's the belief deep down that you can handle a situation, even if you're nervous, and this is key, even if you don't know everything. It's about navigating uncertainty, not eliminating it.
Okay, self-efficacy. Belief you can handle it. Think about it for learning English. Confidence isn't knowing every single word or having a perfect accent. No way. It's being willing to, raise your hand, share your thought, even if you might mess up a word or a bit of grammar. And being okay with that, it's like giving yourself permission to just try, imperfections and all.
Wow, okay. Just knowing confidence can exist alongside nervousness and mistakes.
Yeah.
That alone feels like a weight lifted.
Yeah.
It makes trying seem less risky. But then, why is it still so hard for so many of us? If it's learnable, why the paralysis?
Well, because there are these really stubborn barriers baked into how we think and feel. The big one, fear. But it's specific fears usually. It's the fear of being judged and the fear of failure.
The judgment one feels huge.
It is. People spend so much mental energy worrying, what if I embarrass myself? Like in front of colleagues or friends, they let that potential temporary feeling of shame just shut them down completely. Choosing comfort, over actually doing the thing.
And that fear, it gets cranked up by comparison, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You see someone who's super fluent or that colleague who just seems effortlessly confident.
Yeah.
And your brain instantly goes, nope. I'll never be like that.
Exactly. It's this toxic comparison trap. You see their highlight reel and compare it to your behind-the-scenes bloopers, and you conclude, I'm stuck, instead of seeing them and thinking, okay, maybe that's possible for me too eventually.
Right. And that feeds right into the next barrier you mentioned, the internal voice, that negative self-talk.
Oh, it's relentless, isn't it? It's not just random criticism. It's this constant quiet whisper in your head. That idea is dumb. Your accent sounds terrible. Everyone can tell you're nervous. And because it's your voice, it feels like the absolute truth. Its only job really is to hit the brakes. It whispers, don't try. Stay safe. Don't risk it.
And we can't ignore past experiences either. I mean, how many people carry around that one memory? Maybe they misspoke once, years ago, and someone laughed. Just one moment of embarrassment.
And And that scar makes them hold back again and again. It's like that one past failure shadows thousands of potential future successes. It creates this feedback loop of avoidance.
Okay, so fear of judgment, fear of failure, comparison, that negative inner whisper, and old painful memories. Quite the cocktail.
It is. And that's why the very first actionable step, the foundation really, is self-awareness. You have to figure out what is holding you back right now. Is it mostly fear of what a specific colleague might think? Is it that old memory replaying? Is it just that negative self-talk on loop?
So identifying the specific barrier.
Exactly. Name it. See it clearly. Not as some fundamental truth about you, but as a mechanism, a habit of thought. Once you see the barrier for what it is, well, it starts to lose its power over you. Then, and only then, can you actually start to dismantle it.
Okay, so we've identified the barriers. Now we need to tackle the internal operating system, right? The mindset. This feels foundational.
It absolutely is. We said confidence is built through action, and that's true. But if your underlying beliefs aren't aligned, taking action feels like constantly fighting yourself. It's exhausting. This is where the whole fixed versus growth mindset thing comes in. And it's not just jargon, it's critical.
Right, I've heard those terms. Can you break them down in a practical way? How do they actually affect building confidence?
Sure. So the fixed mindset, basically, it's the belief that your core abilities, intelligence, talent, confidence, language, skill are just fixed. Like you have a certain amount and that's it. You can't really change it much.
Okay. So if you have that mindset and you try something, say speaking English, and you make a mistake.
Your immediate thought is, see, I knew it. I'm just bad at this. Or I'm stuck. I'll never get better. The mistake feels like proof of your permanent limitation. So naturally, you start avoiding effort, avoiding challenges, because failure feels like a judgment on who you are.
Oof. Yeah, I can see how that would stop you cold.
Yeah.
So the growth mindset is the alternative.
Exactly. The growth mindset is rooted in the idea that abilities aren't fixed at all. They're malleable. You can develop them through dedication, effort, learning from mistakes. It's based on actual brain science, neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change.
So with a growth mindset, how does that mistake get interpreted?
Totally differently. Instead of, I failed because I'm bad, it's more like, okay, that didn't work. What can I learn from this? How can I improve next time? Mistakes become feedback, not verdicts. Effort is seen as the path to getting better, not proof you weren't good enough to begin with. Honestly, the most confident people, they aren't just lucky, they've relentlessly applied this growth mindset.
That shift feels huge.
Yeah.
It connects to what you said about the brain finding proof for what we focus on, right?
Yeah.
If I keep telling myself I can't, my brain looks for reasons why I can't.
Precisely. Your brain is like an evidence-gathering machine. It notices what you pay attention to. So if your internal script is always, I'm terrible at this, your brain will highlight every little stumble, every hesitation, confirming that belief.
Yeah.
It literally filters your reality. But flip the script. Start focusing on, okay, I'm learning or I'm making progress, even if it's slow. You consciously direct your attention and your brain starts hunting for evidence of that instead. Small improvements, moments you handled something okay. It's not magic. It's intentionally rewiring your focus. You're building a self-fulfilling prophecy of progress.
Okay, this is powerful stuff. So how do we actively do this reprogramming? What are the practical tools?
Well, based on the research, there are 3 really solid tools. First, affirmations. Now, I know some people roll their eyes at this.
Yeah, it can sound a bit woo-woo.
It can, but think of it technically. It's about interrupting and replacing that negative whisper. You consciously choose positive present tense statements. Not, I wish I were better, but I am improving my English every day. Or, I handle challenges effectively.
So it's about the repetition.
Yes, consistency is key. You're literally carving out new neural pathways, strengthening the positive script over the old negative one. Your words matter, especially the ones you say to yourself. They become your story.
Okay, affirmations. What's next?
Visualization. This is like mental rehearsal. If you're dreading something, a presentation, a difficult conversation, don't just practice the words. Spend a few minutes actually picturing yourself doing it successfully.
Like see yourself standing tall, speaking clearly.
Exactly. See yourself making eye contact, feeling calm, handling it well. Imagine the feeling of relief and accomplishment afterward. The brain actually activates similar neural pathways during visualization as it does during the real action. So you're essentially pre-paving the way for success, making the scary thing feel a bit less unfamiliar.
Interesting. Okay, affirmations, visualization. On the third one.
The third one is gratitude. And this one often surprises people, but it's incredibly powerful for confidence.
Gratitude. How does being thankful build confidence?
Because it fundamentally shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. When you consciously practice gratitude, maybe you're thankful for a supportive colleague or access to learning resources, or even just that you managed to ask one question today, you generate positive emotions. And those positive feelings chemically in your brain, they counteract the stress hormones like cortisol that come with fear and anxiety. Confidence thrives when we recognize and appreciate the good stuff already present, instead of constantly dwelling on the gaps. Gratitude literally lifts us up.
So it all starts inside. Get the mindset right, start reprogramming with affirmations, visualization, gratitude, and then your actions start to follow that internal belief.
That's the idea. You prime the internal system first. You build that foundation of believing growth is possible and that you can handle things. Then taking action feels much more achievable.
Right. Mindset is absolutely the starting point, the engine. But we have to keep saying it. Confidence isn't just thinking positive thoughts. It's forged in the doing. It's built through action. A great mindset without action, that's just wishful thinking, really.
Yeah, I really like the analogy from the sources comparing it to exercise. Makes so much sense. You wouldn't expect to bench press 300 pounds on your first day at the gym, right? Exactly. You start with lighter weights, things you can manage. You do it consistently. And slowly, gradually, you get stronger. Confidence is the same. It's neurological muscle. You build it with small, repeated acts of courage, pushing just slightly outside your comfort zone again and again.
And the cool thing is you can start flexing that muscle immediately, like right now, even before saying a word, just with your body.
Yes, body language. It's amazing how much it impacts not just how others see you, but how you feel internally. It's a feedback loop to your own brain.
So what are the key things? Just stand straighter.
That's a big one. Stand tall. Shoulders back, chest slightly open. It's sometimes called a power pose. And importantly, try to smile. Not a fake grin, but allowing a gentle, genuine smile. It signals openness, reduces your own tension, and make eye contact. Connect with people visually.
And this actually changes things chemically.
Research suggests that it can. Adopting these postures can apparently boost testosterone, which is linked to feeling more assertive, and lower cortisol, the stress hormone. So your body is literally telling your brain, hey, we've got this, which then helps calm the nerves. It's a powerful mind-body connection.
Okay, so posture, smile, eye contact. Now, moving to actually speaking. I know when I get nervous, I tend to speed up. My voice gets higher. It's a total giveaway.
That's super common. Rushing your words, that high pitch, it signals anxiety, both to others and back to yourself. So the absolute key communication tactic here is control. Train yourself to speak slowly and clearly.
Slower, even if it feels unnatural at first.
Especially if it feels unnatural. Own the pace. Take pauses. Simple words, spoken calmly and deliberately, carry so much more weight, more authority than complex sentences rushed out in a panic. Slowing down gives you time to think, helps you breathe, and signals to everyone, including yourself, that you're in control. Okay, slow and clear. That leads us to what feels like the real engine of this whole process. Taking small risks. You mentioned building confidence brick by brick. Exactly that. If the main barrier is fear stopping you from acting, you need to break down acting into tiny, manageable pieces. Commit to one small risk each day. Something that pushes you just a tiny bit, but isn't catastrophic if it doesn't go perfectly.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, maybe it's deciding to ask one relevant question in your next team meeting, or just greeting a colleague you don't normally talk to. Or for English practice, saying one sentence out loud to the barista instead of just pointing.
So really small, low stakes.
Low stakes, but intentional. These small actions systematically chip away at that habit of avoidance, that fear-based inaction. They prove the internal whisper wrong, little by little.
And then, this seems crucial. You have to actually notice that you did it. Celebrate the win, however small.
Yes.
Absolutely critical. You must consciously recognize the effort and the progress. Your brain needs that positive reinforcement. Otherwise, the negative bias takes over and you dismiss it. So you quickly jot it down. Asked a question in the meeting today, felt nervous but did it, or just pause internally and acknowledge, okay, I faced the fear and took the step. So you're training your brain to see the wins.
You're training your brain to see evidence of your capability. The more you recognize these small successes, making eye contact, speaking clearly, taking that small risk, the more your self-efficacy grows. It fuels the growth mindset and makes the next small step feel easier.
But it's not all just internal battles and individual actions, is it? The environment, the people around us, they must play a role. A massive role. Think of it as an accelerator or a brake. There's that saying the sources mentioned.
Yeah.
You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Right.
I've heard that.
I heard that. Well, if your circle is full of people who are constantly negative, complaining, stuck in a fixed mindset, their energy inevitably pulls you down. It makes building your own confidence so much harder. It's like trying to swim upstream.
So the flip side is actively seeking out supportive people.
Exactly. Surround yourself with people who are generally positive, who are growth-oriented themselves, who cheer on your efforts, people who lift you up, who make you feel psychologically safe to try things, even if you stumble. Their support acts like a multiplier for your own efforts.
So for someone learning English, maybe finding a practice group or connecting with a supportive colleague.
Perfect examples. Find environments where making mistakes is okay, even expected, where people don't judge but share the struggle and celebrate the progress together. And, just as importantly, consciously reduce exposure to negativity. Spend less time with people who constantly put you down. Maybe limit doom-scrolling news or toxic social media. Protect your mental energy for growth.
So your environment isn't just background noise. It's an active ingredient in building confidence. Choose wisely, because it can either help you build faster or slow you way down.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's a crucial piece of the architecture. Okay, so we've talked about the mindset shift, the small actions, the environment. But let's make this really concrete now. How does this actually play out for people? We need to see the theory in action.
Yeah, the sources had a great example. A listener named Ahmed, his story really hit home. He was described as, talented, full of good ideas at work, but just totally frozen when it came to speaking English in meetings. Classic imposter syndrome, right? Felt like any success was luck and one mistake would expose him.
A very common and painful struggle. So he stayed quiet, held back all that potential value.
Exactly. But his breakthrough wasn't some overnight transformation. It was pure small steps. He realized his barrier wasn't lack of knowledge. It was the fear of actually speaking. So what did he do first?
He started incredibly small. Just 5 minutes a day, listening to podcasts and repeating sentences out loud, alone in his car. Just focusing on the sound, the rhythm, getting comfortable with his own voice speaking English. He built that tiny habit first.
5 minutes.
That's it.
Seems so doable.
Right. Then, after getting comfortable with that, he slightly raised the stakes. He started practicing short, simple sentences with just one trusted colleague, someone supportive during a coffee break. A totally safe spice.
Okay, building up gradually.
Yeah.
Then, the next step. Commit to saying just one small factual thing in the next meeting. Something he could prepare beforehand, just to get over that hurdle of speaking up at all. He focused on the tiny action, not on being brilliant. And the result?
Well, the sources say the compounding effect was huge. Over time, Ahmed didn't just start speaking in meetings, he actually progressed to leading them, clearly, confidently. That initial 5-minute daily habit was the tiny seed for this massive change in his career.
Wow. That's really inspiring. It shows the power of consistency, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I can relate, actually. I had my own struggle, especially with public speaking early on. I used to get physically sick beforehand.
Really? What changed for you? Did you use similar small steps?
Sort of. My big mistake was trying to eliminate the fear, like fight it head on. It never worked. What finally clicked was shifting my focus away from the feeling of fear and onto one tiny physical action.
Okay, what was the action?
Just before I started speaking, I forced myself to take one slow, deep abdominal breath. Just one. That simple act seemed to interrupt the panic cycle, shifted me out of that fight or flight mode just enough.
Give you a moment of control.
Exactly. And by focusing on just that one breath, over and over, the whole experience gradually became less terrifying. Eventually, believe it or not, I started to actually, well, maybe not love it initially, but certainly manage and even enjoy connecting with the audience. But the key was that tiny, repeatable action breaking the fear cycle.
That's a fantastic illustration, and it brings us right to the core synthesis, doesn't it? Confidence is not about getting rid of the fear. The fear might still be there, maybe quieter, like a faint whisper, but it's often present.
Right.
Real confidence is about acknowledging the fear, seeing the barrier, and choosing to move forward anyway. It's about acting despite the fear. If you wait until you feel confident before you take action, well, you could be waiting a very long time.
Yeah, the feeling follows the action, not the other way around.
Precisely. Action and progress come first. The feeling of confidence is the result of taking those steps, not the prerequisite. Okay, so let's boil this all down. If you're listening and want the key takeaways, the absolute essentials for building that unshakable confidence, it really seems to be these three things. One, it's built through small, consistent actions, brick by brick. Two, it needs that underlying growth mindset, believing you can improve. And three, your environment matters. Hugely surround yourself with people who lift you up. Perfect summary. And always remember that core definition. Confidence isn't about being perfect or never feeling nervous. It's about showing up, participating, even imperfectly. Being willing to risk small embarrassments for the sake of growth. Tolerating discomfort is part of the process, which leads us perfectly to our final thought, our challenge for you listening right now. We want you to take this from theory to practice. So the challenge is this. Identify one small, confident step you can take today. Doesn't have to be huge. Seriously small is good. Maybe it's finally starting that conversation with a colleague. Maybe sharing one opinion, however brief, in your next call. Maybe just practicing one English sentence out loud where someone else might hear you.
Just one thing. Pick one small action that feels slightly uncomfortable, but doable. Because that's the secret weapon revealed in all this research. Small steps, repeated consistently, lead to massive change over time. Trust the process. Focus on the effort. Recognize the progress, however tiny.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into confidence. We really hope you take this knowledge and put it straight into action. Remember that internal whisper of doubt. It doesn't know your potential. Every step you take, no matter how small, proves it wrong.
Well said. Keep taking those steps.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.